Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. It's the Quarantine Concert Series, baby. I'm your host, Kabir Segal, and we're at it again, doing a matinee special, 3 p.m. Eastern edition, Quarantine Concert Series. I'm coming to you live from the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. My parents are upstairs taking a siesta, but again, I think they secretly watch. But Mom, I really need you to be off the internet so I can get full bandwidth. But if you are watching, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Speaking of my mom, tomorrow's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. My mom will be co-hosting the 10 p.m. slot tomorrow with me. So you get two segals for the price of, well, these shows are free. So thanks for checking out my mom and me tomorrow. And also a special shout out to my dad, whose biography just came out. Close the loop. He's been working many years on this biography. So it came out last Tuesday. This is the first week the book is on sale. So American Dream story, rags to riches story, and I hope you get a chance to check out his incredible tale. So my parents are here. Thanks for having me here in times of quarantine. By now you know what we're doing. We've been doing this for 50-something consecutive days. And we're trying to put the spotlight back on the music. So many gigs have gone away. So many gigs have been canceled. I've seen gigs canceled into 2021. And the artists are the ones who give us their incredible mind, body, and soul throughout the years. And they keep us motivated. So this is a platform to put the spotlight back on the artists, back on the people who really deserve it, who share with us their vitality and intellect and virtuosity throughout most times. So, this could be a $10 billion loss to the live concert space. And it's not just the musicians. We love the musicians. It's everyone attached to the live music space. It's the managers and promoters and bookers and engineers. And there's a whole ecosystem of creative professionals that are affected by this. So there's several things you can do. I wrote an article recently in Market Watch that sort of lays out 3 things you can do to help artists. One of course is to stream the music, buy the merchandise, actually buy product. A second of which is to host your own virtual concert, something like this. I mean, artists are available. Reach out to them, see if you can host an event. And third, support. There's all kinds of organizations that are charitable organizations that are helping with what's going on. So make a tax deductible donation to very, very important organizations that are doing meaningful work in this space. I mean, there's always been a link between patrons and artists, and I think we need to make sure that continues so that the music in the show quite literally must go on. All right, next up, I want to thank the folks at All About Jazz who helped simulcast a lot of these concerts. They started in 1995. So this is the 25th anniversary. So happy anniversary, All About Jazz. If you're an artist, go make an artist page. If you're a patron, go make a donation if you can to All About Jazz. Great journalism happening there. In addition, we've started a quarantine film series where I interview filmmakers. I just finished making my first movie this year, and I was really excited. All the film festivals are canceled too. So this is an effort to put the spotlight on filmmakers. These films have been accepted into festivals like South by Southwest and the Tribeca Film Festival. But it's hard. Without the festivals, you can't get the sales agent. And hi, Mom. How are you? I'm alive right now. My mom is not taking a nap. So it's, the film series, conversations with great filmmakers, those happen in the morning, 10:30, 11 a.m. in the morning Eastern. So I do not have a life. I'm binge hosting film series and concert series for as long as we can go. People are asking me how long are these concert series going to go. I mean, we're almost at 70 shows. I think we have 100 in our sights, and then we'll see what happens. So we're going to keep going for as long as we can. All right, next up, the word of the day. The word of the day. There will be a pop quiz at the end of this broadcast. If you can tell me what the word of the day is, you will get a prize. What is the prize? It's a puppy presenting you a trophy. You know you want this, all right? The defending champion, there's a couple defending champions, Gene Rose and Juan Carlos Alarcon. So let's see if they can defend their crown. So we always pick a music word of the day. This is, well, not music education. So the word of the day, marcato, Italian, marked, accented, emphatic, stressed. Our artist is very expressive, so I bet there will be some marcato sections, marcato playing during this performance. So word of the day, let's see. Now you got it. All right, where can you find us? Find us everywhere. Find us on the Facebook. Find us on the Twitter. Find us on the Instagram cracker. Make us more out of it. Find us on LinkedIn. If you lost your job, My heart goes out to you. A lot of people have lost jobs. If you're looking for a job on LinkedIn, stay with us. We're going to try to keep you motivated and encouraged. You can go crush your job search. And we're also on Periscope. Here's my Periscope, up Periscope, down Periscope, left Periscope, right Periscope. Also on Twitch. That's the where we are everywhere, essentially. Lastly, if you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. A bit of a line, but if you want to really get on, contact Camila or Sandra. I love these people. We were just involved in a 24-hour live stream organized by the World Economic Forum, and they are now back with me today producing this concert series. So anyone who works with Sandra or Camilo gets on this show. All right, so that's the friendliness to their clients, obviously. So with that, I want to welcome to the show an incredible artist, someone who I've known for a few years now, just cutting edge in every way, incredible aesthetic, also just top class professional, on time, has her music together. You know, as a producer, just the little things, you're like, oh man, like it's really easy to work with him. Top class professional, always enjoy corresponding with her. Acclaimed composer, electroacoustic violist, and just a pure genius, I think, in how she brings sounds together. And when you look for someone who like creates, you want like an artist who's created their own sound. This is a very definition of that. So please welcome to the broadcast the wonderful Martha Mooke.
Great to be here. I've been enjoying your shows, all of them.
Thanks so much, Martha.
Good stuff.
Tell us first, where are you broadcasting from?
I am broadcasting actually from the great state of New Jersey.
Great. Everyone watching at home, we have Atlanta in the house and we have New Jersey in the house. We want to let Martha know where her concert is being received. So tell us all the cities and countries that you're watching. Leave a comment and I'll put it up on the screen. Tell us where you're broadcasting from. So Martha, tell me, how has the quarantine affected you? How has it affected what you had planned?
Yep. I certainly didn't have planned this. So just to give you an idea, the very last live performance I did was on March 12th in New York City. And since then, I should have played at Lincoln Center. I was supposed to play in Washington, D.C. with the great beatboxer Razel. And let's see, where else? I had workshops in Pennsylvania. I was supposed to be in Asheville, North Carolina for a bunch of days doing some concerts, including an appearance at the Moogseum, Bob Moog. They've gone online, and I'm actually going to be doing something with them on the 28th on their Facebook page. So Chicago, Reno, Nevada, I was supposed to do a premiere with a school, middle school orchestra. Boston, Chicago. So those are places up till now I should have been.
I hear you. We have tuning in someone from The Hague, Netherlands. You ever been to the Netherlands to perform?
Not to perform, but I was there a long time ago.
West Hampton, New York, out in the Hamptons, tuning in.
Excellent. My folks out in the East End.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Hey, Michelle.
And then looks like you have a neighbor, Shirley, from New Jersey, northern
Cool.
New Jersey, tuning in.
Hey, everybody.
Do you have a daily routine with your quarantine life? You have a structure to your day? Do you get up a certain hour? What's the day like for you?
I make my bed.
Good.
And I get dressed. Actually, I have to make, because I heard so many people, they stay in their pajamas all day and all that, and I can't because it's hard enough. I've got plenty to do. I'm teaching, I'm writing, I'm creating, producing, and you would think that I would just be busy all the time, but with all of this going on, it actually does get to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's twice the effort to actually concentrate and focus on doing things.
Yeah.
So I have to make the effort to look like I'm going out the door to work.
Yeah.
And so, and that, do Zoom sessions and
Totally.
Skype and all of these.
You mentioned course. Tell us about the course you've been working on and developing.
Well, I've been doing some teaching at New Jersey City University, and I'm developing a brand new curriculum for them. Actually, I'm really excited about it. It's called Multi-Style Strings, and it's going to be the first program of that kind in the country. And so I'm actually creating a master's program and a bachelor's of arts program, and we're going to have some really cool people involved in it, including Regina Carter, that was on your show. And it's great because it's a college that's part of the New Jersey system, so it's actually affordable, but get the top of the line people in here. And so I'm really excited, and we're scheduled to launch in the fall, and fingers crossed that we get there.
Got it. I want everyone to put the finger cross emojis up on there. All right. So if you're watching, I want to see emojis like this.
Send us some love.
Yeah, exactly. What would you like to? Well, it sounds like an incredible course in what you're developing, especially with Regina's involvement too. What would you like to perform as your first number?
Well, I usually open my performances with some kind of an improvisation. And so I thought that I would today offer, it's an offering to the audience usually to sort of tune up the room and get them adjusted to my sounds. And because it's a communication, that's what's really missing, is the live audience factor. Because they're as much part of the performance as I am. I'm really informed by them. So I'm going to offer up an improvisation, kind of like a prayer in honor of the healthcare workers that have just been saving lives like crazy, and doing it just with their hearts. So from my heart and my spirit to all of yours, thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. So good. So good. Thanks for what's a beautiful piece dedicated to frontline workers, essential workers, and we have a lot of love coming in on the screen. I can put some up on the screen. Obviously, Camila loves it. Very cool sounding, says Shirley. So I have a few questions coming, and I'll just sort of ask you.
Sure.
Isaac wants to know about your tech setup here. What people can see? Like, what's your setup? What kind of violin? What kind of viola do you have? And
Good question.
what are all the gadgets around you?
So this is, it's a 5-string. It's made by Yamaha, and so it's a combination of a violin and a viola, but with it's got the size of a viola, so that's the heart and soul of the instrument. So that's the back. I'm wireless, by the way.
Cool.
So I could actually walk around, which is usually what I do in a live performance. I walk around and interact with the audience. So just I'm virtually walking around the room. So, so this is actually virtually connected to my pedal board, which you see right here. Usually it's at my feet, but and I usually don't sit when I play, but so you can sort of see what's going on. So I have a pedal board here, which has a whole bunch of pedals. It's 2 H9s made by Eventide. That's like my core sound. Eventide Rose, which is an analog pedal. A Yamaha Stomp, which gives me some really cool sounds. This is an old antique, but I still love it. And then all that gets connected to at my feet, which unfortunately you can't see, but imagine you're seeing another similar size pedal board that it's called a Boss Loop Station, RC300. And I can make 3 separate loops at the same time, and it's all stereo, which is why it sounds great. And that is all just going directly into an audio interface right into the computer. So my neighbors are having a great time because they can't hear me.
Yeah, I bet. Well, it sounds wonderful. And Bruce wants to know when did you take this direction of you probably presumably began with the classical training.
Yeah.
When did you take this direction career into electric
Yeah.
strings?
So I started on viola, and I was pursuing the classical tradition until, well, actually I still do. I mean, I'm still, as they say, a legit classical player. I play with orchestras and I play on Broadway. But when I was in high school, a friend of mine gave me a recording. Some guy I'd never heard of. He's on the cover. He's holding this beautiful blue violin, and the recording was Jean-Luc Ponty, A Taste for Passion. And
It's up on your wall there. It looks like.
It is up on my wall with that instrument, in fact. And I went out and I bought it. I made my parents take me down to the city when there used to be 48th Street, all the music shops, and I bought it. It's a Barkasbury 5-string violin. And so I put the record on, and of course in those days it was an album vinyl, and it just blew my mind. I never knew a violinist could sound like that, a string player could sound like that. He was using electronics, he was improvising, it was jazz, it was rock, it was everything. And that was my aha moment. And I went out and I bought more of his recordings. I found other electric violin players because there really weren't any electric viola players that I could identify back at that time. This was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I'm, things come full circle because there are the people that have been really inspiring to me are now my friends. I've reached out to them and we've either worked together or Jean-Luc, I spoke to him the other day because I've done some articles on him and he's done some interviews with me and I've gone to his concerts and so I just keep telling him how much of an influence he is, and he's still going strong. He's over in Paris, and but I was at a conference a few weeks ago. Well, the very last conference before they closed everything down, the American String Teachers Association, and without fail, everybody that's playing some other kind of violin, even if they're just playing regular violin, especially if they're playing electric, they all owe it to Jean-Luc Ponty.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to look him up after this and do a deep dive into his music. Thanks for sharing that with the audience. What would you like your next number to be?
So I'm going to play a couple of selections from my more recent album, No Ordinary Window, which came out a few years ago. And again, this is something I love playing live. Actually, as high tech as I am, I like to go low tech with this concert and start the concert before the sun sets, but then actually have, thank you, there it is, have the concert going as the sun is going down, because the whole thing is about what windows mean. And so it's not just windows looking out, but it's windows to the soul, windows to the universe, windows as artwork, stained glass windows. And so at night, when the sun goes down and there's light inside, windows actually become reflectors. They become mirrors. So you see inside yourself. So lots of different meanings. And so I'm going to play a couple of movements: Inner Window 3 and the finale movement. So enjoy.
Yeah. They love you. I don't know the last time you played Atlanta, but the crowd in Atlanta loves you. All right, everyone, you know what to do. I want to see the love and the emojis up on the screen, and if you do it, I will do it in person. So we have some claps going. We have some of this going for Martha. For Martha. Shambu just says, I left the planet.
Excellent. No parachutes.
We have some muscle action going. That was awesome. So cool. Regina Carter's in the house saying some applause from Regina. Let's see here. All right. So settle down. And 1, 2, 3, stop. There, see there. Right on time.
So they never do that in a live situation. They just keep
This
going.
is true. I wanted to ask a couple things here. So about your last record, there's also a reopened edition. What's the difference between the reopened edition and the original project you put out?
Spotify.
Ah,
Basically.
okay.
So No Ordinary Window, the one that you could buy in a store or one that I could actually autograph, is a little color scheme is a little different. So, but it was also the pieces. Some of them are 17-minute long pieces, including the title track. And so when everything started going all digital, and I just didn't want to have everything, a 17-minute song get downloaded for the same price as a 3-minute song. So basically, and in classical music, they usually break things up into movements, and most of my pieces are, can be broken down into different sections. So that's what I did, is I just went in and I re-edited, and so there's many more tracks, and there's a bonus track actually on the reopened. So you can actually download the entire album with the bonus track on it, and you'll get everything that's on the original.
Gotcha. For everyone watching at home, I want you to go to Martha Mooke's website, marthamooke.com. Also, her Bandcamp, if we can put that banner up on the screen too, on the crawl, and check out Martha's Bandcamp site to check out her music, buy the music. There it is, marthamooke.bandcamp.com. While we're talking about this, I want to ask about the album art. Who did the album art? I quite like it. So, what was that process like of getting the art together?
So I worked with a really wonderful creative director by the name of Ron Batum. He's got an office somewhere in New Jersey, in fact, I think. But my sister is a writer, and they do some creative work together. And I sent him that picture, and I kind of gave him the idea, and we just kept going back and forth with the idea of the window and seeing, from the inside and the outside, and he just nailed it.
Yeah, totally. We have another question, maybe unrelated question, coming in from Shirley. She says that she saw that you performed with Barbra Streisand. What was that experience like for you?
Amazing. I got to do 2 tours with Barbra, the U.S. tour in 2006 and the European tour in 2007. And then also did the Back to Brooklyn in 2012 in the new arena. And I tell you, I would do it again in a flash. Just the energy. It was a 55-piece orchestra that toured around, and we played we played Madison Square Garden, and we played all these huge arenas, and we were just treated so well, and everybody is, it's just top class orchestra. A lot of Broadway players were in the orchestra. And so it was just a phenomenal highlight of my life.
Seems like it too. Talk to me also, some questions coming in about your composition process and your writing, because you're prolific, well-known composer as well for your material. So what is your composition process like? How do you go from inspiration to, note in a way?
There's a few different ways that I do it. It really all depends. Sometimes I'll just sit here and experiment, and I often sort of refer to a painter with a palette of colors and just keep mixing the colors, or a cook, a chef in a kitchen, combining different ingredients. So sometimes you put a little more salt and it's salty. Sometimes you put a little more sugar. Sometimes it's the exact same ingredients, but a little more, a little less, and you come up with something totally different. And so a lot of my pieces, I use the electronics as a collaborator. I don't let it drive what I do, but we work together in a way. And sometimes I'll come up with a concept of a piece and I'll find what works there. Sometimes I'll come up with a sound and like, oh, that's pretty cool. I play one note and it does that. Or in No Ordinary Window, I play one note and a whole cascade of harmonies come out of it. So, but I also write for orchestra and band and other ensembles, and so that process is a little bit different. And in that case, viola actually becomes, for those in the know, a transposing instrument. So I don't know if you're familiar with band instruments, B-flat instruments and E-flat instruments. And so the notes that they're seeing are not what you're hearing. So the same kind of thing with the viola. If I play one note, so on the score it looks like one melody line, but I have to play it the way that it's being heard. So if I play, it looks like one line, but I actually have to write that so the conductor knows they're hearing bum ba da da ba da da.
Interesting.
And I have to make up a lot of if I didn't bring my score somewhere. Sometimes I do what's called retro notation, and I record it, and then I have to figure out how to notate it after I play it.
Yeah. Is that a hard process? Especially how you play, it seems like it'd be hard to. It's like you're transposing yourself in a way.
Well, because so much of it it's from with any kind of language that's also based on improvisation. There's sounds that you just cannot put down into words, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's a lot of it is the oral tradition of singing to the next generation. And so a lot of what I do is, I slide through notes, and every time I play something, it's different.
Sure.
And again, that's, part of the live scene is with each audience, it's different.
Yeah, I gotcha. By the way, if you have a question, drop a comment and we'll make sure Martha can opine. A question is a follow-up. You were talking about cooking, kind of unrelated, but Emmanuel wants to know what's going on in Martha Mooke's quarantine kitchen. What are you cooking these days to get through these times?
So for me, cooking is a kind of therapy, actually. I'm not so big on following recipes. I'll kind of follow the guidelines, but I made a really wonderful chicken soup the other day. And it was basically whatever I could find in my kitchen. Including, sometimes I take these little turmeric capsules. I don't have that, I don't have that many spices, but I opened up a turmeric capsule and I poured it in, and I put an egg in there, and I put a little bit of wine, and I put some celery, and I let it sit overnight, and it was so good. I've had it for a couple of days, really.
Nice.
So things like that.
Chicken noodle soup, wine, and turmeric. You heard it here first. Special recipe. Special recipe. Cool. Very cool. What would you like to play next?
So I think I'll continue off the page. And I just want to say also, one of the other things that I love to do is working with students and other players, because I tell this joke at the beginning of my workshops. The fastest way to get a classical musician to stop playing: tell them to improvise. So that's something that I do, is I try to help them overcome that inhibition factor. So I will always include improvisation in any music that I write, and I work with students and players and teachers to get them to embrace their inner voice. So
wonderful.
This was an improvisation that led to a piece that is called Factorization.
Nice.
Is the sound okay? Because I saw it was going into the red a little bit. I
No,
don't
it sounded
know if,
great. You sounded great.
yeah, cool.
I want to. Yeah. Applause, por favor. I want everyone to hear it. And also, I want to let everyone know that we asked the audience what trophy you should get after this performance, and we gave people the option of presenting you one of two trophies. We hand out two trophies on the show now. It's a new thing we do.
Okay.
There's the kitten trophy and the penguin trophy, and the audience has spoken unanimously. So we would like to present you. You're now the defending champion and holder of the penguin trophy. Congratulations.
I am honored. I love penguins.
Awesome. Yeah. You're welcome to make a speech if you like.
Yeah, penguins. A penguin in every household.
Exactly, especially this one. Well, congratulations on that and the incredible work you're doing. I do want to ask about was it Enharmonic album?
Enharmonic Vision. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about that project. I was listening to it earlier today. Tell us about that album in particular, and what was the process of putting that together?
That was my debut. That was back before the turn of the century, actually. And that was really started me on finding my creative voice. And so I had at that time, instead of all these really cool pedals, I had a huge rack that I would have to schlep around with me, and it had great sounds. But it was, it's different back in those days. So, but the same kind of process of trying different kind of sounds and rhythms and harmonies, and so that was really where I first started finding my voice as a composer. And essentially, it was because nobody else was writing anything for electric viola. So that's since been amended. But so I kind of started that ball rolling. And I think the first place where I played publicly any of those pieces and recorded some of them was at the Trenton Avant-Garde Festival, which was an outdoor festival. And hey, Sandy. And I remember there was the band before me. They blew out the sound system, and so we had to like scrape it together for my show. But it was gorgeous. It was there was some kind of a water in the background, and the lights, the lights were going down. So
when I think of that album, I think like pioneer in a way. Like this is the first time I'm hearing it, and I remember hearing it a couple years ago. Like that was the first time I'd heard that sound. So you really are a pioneer and the vanguard of this space. So I want everyone to know what they're watching. There's a word for this. It's called genius. When you create a new discipline, you create a new sound. So it's so wonderful to hear you, to have you here with us today. What would you like to do next for
Thanks. I'm going to play from another piece that I wrote. And I just also wanted to give a shout out. So I mentioned Jean-Luc Ponty, and the other person that has been a huge inspiration and become a wonderful friend is Laurie Anderson. And so we've gotten to share the stage together, and I love so much working with her. And she's another pioneer, genius, in fact. So
they hang out together. They tend to attract each other, geniuses, right? So
yeah, I think it has to do with, if you have crazy hair, too.
Yeah, I'm not there, so.
You keep doing these shows, you will be.
Yeah, it might be.
So I'm going to play, I was doing my Freddie Mercury imitation with my mic stand. So a few years ago, I was commissioned by this organization in Prague, in the Czech Republic, that hosts an incredible improvisation festival. And so I wrote a piece that was called Dreaming in Sound, and I collaborated with a wonderful visual computer graphic artist, Scott Draves. And he created this program and fine-tuned it for me so it's interactive, so that the graphics actually listen to the music and they kind of dance around, and it's beautiful. There's some videos on my YouTube channel and my website as well. So I performed it in Prague. It's like an hour-long piece. And then I came back and I performed it at National Sawdust a few years ago. And it's just so gorgeous with the quality of the graphics and what they do. And it inspires me. So it all turns out to be a big group effort. So I'm inspired by the graphics and then the electronics. And so there's no two times when it ever sounds the same. So this is a little bit of dreaming in sound. I've kind of condensed it into a little suite that I can do without the graphics. So.
Yeah. That's good bowing etiquette. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. All right. We don't have that much time. I want to ask some of these questions coming in.
Sure.
Shirley wants to know. We've been showing this picture of you playing a red violin, and she wants to know: is it the same one you're playing now? What's the red violin up there?
No, that's a different. It's also made by Yamaha, but it's very different. If you see the top, it almost looks like guitar tuners, and so but it's also a 5 string. So that was my previous favorite instrument, and this is my current favorite instrument.
Wow, you move on, huh? Find a new one.
Well, so, sometimes I use different tunings. So actually, I will often take 2 instruments with me, at least 2 instruments, because some of my pieces are retuned. Here's another word for you in the future is called scordatura, retuning the strings.
Got it. All right, very cool. Another question. Vicky wants to know: will you be playing with any of the Bowie celebration shows once they start up again?
Well, I was supposed to. I was supposed to be playing, and there was one scheduled in New York in April. I played last year when they were in the area at Irving Plaza, and hopefully, once they get rolling again and they come through.
Gotcha. One more question here. Jennifer, who's studying for her degree in music, she wants to embark upon her career in music as a violist. What advice do you have for someone embarking on their career as a professional violist?
First of all, come to study with me at New Jersey City University in my multi-style strings. So, be as good of a player. Play your scales, your etudes, get the technical skills, and then have an open mind and diversify. Because what really helped me out was that I figured out a long time ago, like I could go into a recording session and I could, if I wasn't familiar so well with that style, I could at least adapt to it, including, I've played on rap records and jazz records and other kind of styles, even some country stuff. And I'm not that, that's not my thing, but I can kind of give you the impression that it is. So, and I can read, I can go in and sight read. So I'm sort of saying that those are things that I recommend. I also have some business skills because the thing that we're really promoting is that every musician that graduates from school is basically an independent contractor, startup. You are a business person, and that oftentimes musicians don't realize that they have to take control of their business affairs too, right from the word go.
Yeah, 100%. I think you have one more piece. We have it's a few minutes left. We'd love for you to. I think you're going to finish with was it Cafe Mars?
Cafe Mars, yeah. So this is a piece that's on the album Cafe Mars with my duo called Boeing, and that's a guitarist Randy Hudson. And so we created this piece together. We co-wrote it, and it's really on the album. I think it's about close to 15 minutes long, and it has some really wonderful sonic landscapes that it goes through. But one day we were playing this live, and actually happened that David Bowie was in the audience, and something happened to Randy's guitar rig went out all of a sudden. He couldn't figure it out. And while he was figuring it out, it turned out he had somehow turned on his guitar tuner, which turned off the rest of his rig. And I said, "Well, I'm not just going to stand up here. I'm going to, I've got the power. I'm a looper." So I went ahead and I finished it. So I do a slimmed down version of Cafe Mars. So I become a bass player and a percussionist. And
Yeah. Martha Mooke, everyone. Martha Mooke, everyone. I want to see everyone applauding. I'll put the comments up here. You get some of my mom's fancy china here. Silverware. Sterling. The first time I've awarded the teapot to anyone.
Hey, I'm an out-of-work musician. I'll take what I can get. Teapots.
It is tea time here in our house. We have all kinds of love. Nalini, Susan,
my sister.
Yeah, we have, of
Excellent.
course, Shirley. Love the creativity in your work. So everyone, that's
you.
the great Martha Mooke. Thanks so much for being on the show. I want everyone to go to marthamooke.com. Check out her Bandcamp site as well, marthamooke.bandcamp.com. You'll see all of her music. We're just about to close on Instagram, but I also want to give a shout out to the Word of the Day winner. There's been a winner, and Bobby Ramirez over on Instagram says Marcato, the word of the day. We definitely heard some Marcato passages in this performance. So that is your prize, little French bulldog. And can you defend your crown tomorrow? Actually, tonight. We have a concert tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern with Matt King. And I also want to give a shout out to Sandra and Camilo. Incredible people,
Yeah,
very kind, generous, polite, hygienic, just really want to work with them. Check out their website, soundworksrecording.com. If you're a musician, please hit them up. And if you mention one of their two dogs, Oreo or Maui, you may get a discount. In fact, you will get a discount. And so to us for that, if you just want to schedule an appointment with Oreo Maui and to pet the dogs, it's $5 a pet. And so hit them up on the website, payable by PayPal, ACH, or debit card. All right, so thanks so much for watching. 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Everyone stay home. I know everyone is, we're kind of reopening here and there, but, make sure if you can to, wear the mask and stay home and be as obviously responsible as possible as we kind of slightly reopen here. So everyone have a wonderful afternoon and see you at the next show.